Welcome everyone to Proverbs chapter 8. How exciting. Do you like my new banner? Thank you CJ, the model, for doing me a favour and doing this shoot for me, which is looks pretty good, turned out pretty well. Pretty happy about that. Welcome. Hello Narelle, welcome. Long time no see, how are you? And Matt, welcome. You're just about to hear me sing and make a fool of myself, so please stick around for that. How exciting. Today's Bible study is on the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, so stick around for that as well if you want to find out more. First, I'm just going to open up in prayer. So dear Lord Jesus, thank you for us being here today. Thank you for giving me the ability to share your word, Lord Jesus, and bless those that are going to watch it, Lord Jesus. I pray that they get something out of it, and I pray they get some wisdom from this message. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So I'm going to sing a song first. Yeah. Oh, that's good that you're good, Narelle. Good to hear. We have to catch up one day. We have to plan a day so I can come over and say hi. Anyway. This song's called Eagle's Wings, so enjoy. And here I am longing. No, I stuffed that up. Start that again, yeah. And hide me in your love. Bring me to my knees. And may I know Jesus more and more. And come live in me and all my life and take over. And come breathe in me and I will rise on eagle's wings. Come live in me all my life and take over. And come breathe in me and I will rise on eagle's wings. I'm gonna rise, 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 I'm gonna rise on eagle's wings. I'm gonna rise, 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 I'm gonna rise on eagle's wings. I'm gonna rise, 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 I'm gonna rise on eagle's wings. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, you're awesome. Thanks, Matt. Anyway. Alright, so we're on to Proverbs chapter 8. Thank you everyone for watching. How are you all doing? How are you all doing tonight? Whoops. Hope everyone is well. Alright, so this week is Proverbs chapter 8. Last week we did chapter 7, which was all about the immoral woman and staying away from her as much as you can, because if you fall into the temptation of lust, it will destroy you. Yeah. Just to put it straightforward, not beating around the bush, not sugarcoating it, it will destroy you. Alright. So this one starts off with referring again wisdom as a young female. And it starts off with, listen as wisdom calls out. So back to this concept that this young woman, Wisdom, is trying to connect with you, trying to communicate to you, trying to give her all her wisdom so that you will not have to go through life with so much suffering, that there is a way to endure life with less suffering or less negative emotions as much as possible. So listen as Wisdom calls out, hear as understanding raises her voice. On the hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroads. By the gates of the entrance to the town, on the road leading in, she cries aloud. I call to you, to all of you, I raise my voice to all people. You simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me, for I have important things to tell you. Everything I say is right, for I speak the truth and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. Choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold, for wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with it. So there you go, she's making a bold statement, claiming straight away that wisdom and understanding is more than money. It's worth more than riches. It's worth more than any possessions, anything that's of high value, any possession that's valued highly or perceived as high value. You get my drift. Hopefully you get my drift. She continues, I, Wisdom, live together with good judgment. I know where to discover knowledge and discernment. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Therefore I hate pride and arrogance, corruption and perverse speech. It's kind of a prick to the heart, isn't it? Because we all have, in a sense, have pride in ourselves, or we hold pride, especially when, and even lately I've been having this concept of coming continuously throughout these past couple of weeks, that we're shackled in a sense to our pride, because we don't make a fool of ourselves. We don't want to, especially in public, we don't want to be an embarrassment. We don't want to be shamed in a sense by the public eye. So there's all this, we're shackled by our pride to not put ourselves out there or put ourselves in an uncomfortable position to grow. We've got this pride of, oh no, I can't do that. We'll say things like, oh, I can't do that. And it's like, no, I just don't want to do it because I don't want to make a fool of myself. And that's pride. It's just this idea of this, oh, I'm too good to make a fool of myself. Like I don't want to, it's like saying basically that you're better than those people that are making a fool of themselves, putting themselves out there, you know. They're being vulnerable, they're being brave and taking a risk. But we sometimes go, I'm not going to do that. That's if they fail, it's complete foolishness. Like, of course they're dumb, and that's straight away us putting us on a pedestal and, you know, bringing them down to our level. Well, it's making us falsely put ourselves on a pedestal. It's us falsely putting ourselves as if we esteem ourselves as if we're higher than them. But then we'll backhand that on that same coin and be like, and try and drag them down and say they're fools for even trying, sort of thing. So that's where Wisdom hates pride, and she hates arrogance. And like I said, basically, you know, you thinking you're better than someone else because you don't put yourself in that position that they're in, if that makes sense. And obviously perverse speech is obviously speech where you hear a lot of guys say, oh, or even girls as well, I'll do them. And it's just like, oh, come on. They're not a toy. They're not something that is going to bend and beckon down to your will for you to play with, if that makes sense. So, she even says corruption and perverse speech. Continuing on. Common sense and success belong to me. Insight and strength are mine. That's interesting. So wisdom possesses, in a sense, common sense and success. And she also possesses insight and strength. Because of me, kings reign and rulers make just decrees. Rulers lead with my help and nobles make righteous judgments. I love all who love me. Oh, that's nice. Most of us then would despise her, wouldn't we? Because we don't stick or follow through on what she tries to teach us. Those who search will surely find me. I have riches and honor, as well as enduring wealth and justice. My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wages better than sterling silver. Just to refer to that, just reading that. I have riches and honor, as well as enduring wealth and justice. And a lot of people, when you first read that, you'd think, most people would think, or we all think in a world, because the way that when the word riches and honor and wealth is used, it's referring a lot of the time to money and respect of placement or power that you are in the societal sort of status that you're in. Welcome, Lance. Welcome. Aren't you running? So yeah, riches obviously most referred to as physical wealth, and honor referring to the respect that you get from, I guess, the people that are following you, etc. But how I'm perceiving it now, with more of a wisdom point of view, or a growth, how much I've grown, I see riches and honor as attitude. How rich is your attitude in your current situation? And I was even talking about this before, a long time ago, probably a week ago or something, even yesterday, I can't remember. How people with in a sense, a growth mindset will be in a situation where, in an unlikely, or not unlikely, an uncomfortable situation, and the growth mindset would be like, what can I learn from this? What is happening for me to grow? Whereas, here you are running. Whereas someone with a closed mindset would then go, why is this happening to me? Like, I don't deserve this. I don't think this. Why should this be happening to me? And sort of justify their reason to complain, or their reason to dismiss as if it was not their fault, or it's not their problem, etc. Whereas a growth mindset would be like, all right, what can I learn from this? What can I grow from this? Now that this is happening to me, happening for me, what opportunities or resolutions or solutions can I make to make the situation better, or make this situation pass, or grow from it, etc. Like to improve on it, so to speak. And that's how I perceive now as riches and honor, is like having wisdom, or having as much, I guess, wisdom as I'm obviously got 10%. Probably wouldn't say that. Probably 2% of wisdom in this whole world. But from the wisdom that I've gained, it's like wisdom is so much more richer. Like it's better than money, because having wisdom will help me get physical finances if I use it correctly, if that makes sense. And it will give me honor, so to speak. And I feel amongst my friends, as much as possible, or to a standard, like I don't have a lot of beef with any of my friends at the moment. So I feel like we honor each other because we have been civil or considerate or respectful towards one another, and using that wisdom, we've been able to practice peacefulness, or communication, to clearly communicate and set boundaries, etc. And that gives us each other honor, so to speak. So that's how, when people read this and go, I have riches and honor, like wisdom is saying that, and they probably think, oh, if I have wisdom, then I'll get money, and I'll get possessions, and I'll get respect. If you're having that sort of attitude of, I'll get all this, I'll get all these physical possessions. I'll get this physical people, coming up to me and honoring me, sort of thing. If you're expecting that, then you've got the wrong sort of sense of, or in my mind, my perspective, the wrong sort of mindset towards what wisdom truly is, because it doesn't matter how much possessions you have, or valuable possessions you have, or how much respect you have from your friends or from leaders or whatever. It's a within sort of mentality is, I'm rich with whatever I have right now. I'm rich because I'm able to breathe. I'm rich because I have the ability to walk and to talk and to communicate to people. I can explore the world, and I can find fascinating things within everything that's in front of me. Whereas people that don't have that attitude of, so for example, this piano, or this keyboard, I should say, it's a very cheapy one. It's not really great quality, but I'm blessed that I have this, because it's very light and lightweight and very versatile. It's very easy to move around and be mobile. How you going, people? Welcome, Connor. Whereas somebody would be like, oh, this is a piece of crap, I can't wait to get rid of it. I need a better one. I need a lot better one. And it's just like, no, this is, for now, right at this moment in time, this is a perfect keyboard for this situation and for myself. And this creating this ability to go online and share with you is what's rich, so to speak. Anyway, moving on. So she says, my gifts are better than gold, and even the purest gold. Gold and the purest gold. My wages are better than sterling silver. I walk in righteousness, in paths of justice. Those who love me inherit wealth. I will fill their treasuries. So there, she's talking about physical. I would assume she's talking more about physical stuff there, which is true. Like if you use your wisdom to really help others, then they want and bless them. They will, as most people believe in the concept of karma, people will then want to bless you, and you'll find that relationships, networking with people, is a lot more richer currency than actually having physical money in your bank. Moving on, verse 22, or even back to that concept. If you have good relationships, those people that you have good relationships are more likely to even tell other people about your business, and that way that income comes in. So having that relationship, having those strong relationships, is really what is the richest thing you can possess, because it will eventually bring in money. If you have a business, really will bring in money to help fund and support you and feed you. Continuing on. The Lord formed me from the beginning, before he created anything else. And I guess he kind of had to, if that makes sense. Even creating the world and creating people, even creating atoms, there would have had to be some sort of concept of how everything is going to interact with each other, how everything is going to communicate, how everything is going to relate to each other. There has to be a form of wisdom there of the relation between everything. It's like, even if I was watching a YouTube video ages ago, how everything is fine-tuned, that if it was 1/8 of a hair breadth, like width out of any of those numbers, then this world will not be livable at all, period, or probably even exist. So wisdom had to obviously be part of that when the world was being made, so that when it was, so that everything could survive, everything can live in this very fine-tuned physics world. I was appointed in ages past, at the very first, before the earth began. I was born before the oceans were created, before the springs bubbled forth their waters, before the mountains were formed, before the hills I was born, before he had made the earth and fields and the first handfuls of soil. I was there when he established the heavens, when he drew the horizon on the oceans. I was there when he set the clouds above, when he established springs deep in the earth. I was there when he set the limits of the seas, so they would not spread beyond their boundaries. And when he marked off the earth's foundations, I was the architect at his side. I was his constant delight, rejoicing always in his presence. And how happy I was with the world he created, how I rejoiced with the human family. So there she gives a lot of imagery and a lot of visual imagery of mostly of nature, of how obviously when the earth was created, when she's explaining when God created the earth. A lot of visuals of big mountains, seas and horizons, so all these massive vast things. She's saying like how she was created before all of these things were even thought about, or even the concept was there. She was there, and she rejoiced when it was all made, when it was all created, and she rejoiced with the human family, probably because she was now able to then, in a sense, rejoicing with the human family, she was able to share it with someone, the gloriousness of God creating this earth, the amazing things that was created, and that she had this, she could see now a species enjoy all these things that was created, that God created. And in a sense, man, when they were created, rejoicing in all these beautiful things, understanding that there would have had to be some sort of wisdom implanted or created before it was all created, for it to be balanced, for it to function, like I said, how it's all fine-tuned for it to be livable and in a sense workable. Welcome, Luke. How you going? Verse 32, and so, my children, listen to me, for all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily at my gates, waiting for me outside my home. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord. But those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love death. Very powerful. So there's this very last 5 verses. She is basically saying how those who accept her or embrace wisdom will have a lot more joy. And you do find that people that, and even reading Brené Brown's, the last few books that she's, I've read all her books, starting from The Gifts of Imperfection, she talks about wholehearted living, and those who have the most joy have an attitude of gratitude, and they're grateful and they're understanding of people. So they look at people and understand that they're human and that they make mistakes, and they have, they give them the benefit of the doubt, and they've set their boundaries strong as well. So they know that people are flawed, so they've also got to, and because they're human as well, they're also flawed. So they have the incapability to tolerate a lot of insensitivity or maliciousness. So they do have to set those boundaries. But they've taken on that wisdom of setting boundaries. They've taken on that wisdom to be understanding and not hold grudges. They've taken on that wisdom because it's going to obviously emotionally wreck them more than it's going to hurt the person that has wronged them. They've, like I said, set those boundaries, have the attitude, like I said, of gratitude, so that they're grateful that they've gone through so much stuff to learn from it. They've taken on that wisdom to have a mindset of being able to grow from the things that they've gone through. So the more you take on wisdom, the more you take on knowledge and understanding, the more joy you're going to feel and embrace in your life, the more fulfillment you're going to feel in your life, because you're no longer going to dwell in things that have done, that bad things that have happened to you, or the wrongdoings that people have done to you, you're going to be able to go, no, that person has done me wrong, and I've definitely taken this on board in the past, or learnt this lesson very hard with my very first housemate, is I didn't set strong enough boundaries of the person and the mentality that he had. So now that I've learnt that lesson, and that I was the first person, a few other people after that in the same sort of living situation, I've now had to set stronger boundaries to protect not just myself, but also them from, between us having a too much rift, too much commotion, too much tension. Just to avoid all that, set those boundaries strong to respect each other, and to understand that we all aren't going to, live peacefully, so to speak. Like the people will have their own selfish intentions to get what they want, and not really reciprocate or not put in any effort to balance it or to help the other person. They just want to get out. They just want to get what they want to get out of the relationship or the friendship or the situation. So wisdom will bring you joy. And I love that last verse, how she says, all who hate me love death. And it's very, very intense, because like people are like, I don't love death. I don't love death at all. But it's like, if you're not listening to advice, if you're not taking it on board, if you're not sticking to your core values, then your core value then would be, in a sense, death. And what death by this is more along the sense of like inner death. You're not really alive to yourself if you're not doing the work, if you're not doing the inner work, if you're not really giving your time and effort to improve on yourself or grow in yourself, then you're more embracing the death of you, if that makes sense. Because you're not really living, are you? If you're shackled to people's expectations, if you're shackled to people's standards, if you don't take on the advice or the wisdom to set boundaries, or to be bold and strong in yourself, or even respecting others, or even respecting yourself, so to speak. Like if you're not taking on that wisdom, if you're not adhering to it, then you're actually loving death, the death of yourself. You not being able the chance to live a wholehearted life, so to speak. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's quite interesting, because you find in the last chapter, it's all about the immoral woman, which is in a sense death, because it brings you to destruction. It empties you. It takes away your dignity, your integrity, all that. Whereas in this one, you have this the woman of chaos, which is the immoral woman, lust, and then you have the woman of order, which comes from God, because it says here, those who fear the Lord. What verse was it? Where is it? It said, fear those who fear the Lord love me, or something like that. I have it highlighted too. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Which would then mean that you love wisdom. So she comes from order, which is God. So you have this here, the woman of death, and then you have a woman of life. And it's like, which woman do you actually want to follow? Which woman do you actually want to take by your side? And she highly encourages to take wisdom as the more high value than this one night stand that's just going to bring you destruction. Invest in yourself, in the sense. Take responsibility for yourself. Grow within yourself. Avoid things that are going to tear you down. Avoid things that are going to be self-destructive. Grow, or take the woman, the wisdom that will help you grow and become better in your life, and to give you more joy, to enjoy this life a whole lot more. and not be in so much resentment, so much anger all the time. So yeah, it's an interesting concept. Chapter 7, is chaos, and you've got chapter 8, which is order, so to speak. You know what I mean? Anyway, and number 8 of Adrian's, what do you call it? If he still has it up. Hopefully he still has it up. Yep, there it is. Number 8. Number 8 is, if you woke up today, it's a good effing day. Be grateful. There you go. And you can say that that's a rich thing. The ability that you actually woke up today, with your taking into perspective, it is a good day, because now you have the opportunities, you have the abilities to change your circumstances. If you didn't wake up today, then it's not a good day, because then you didn't have the ability or the chance to change something to make your life better or improve your life. So again, if you woke up today, it's a good effing day. Be grateful. Anyway, hopefully you all got something out of that. So yeah, it was a little bit late tonight as well. I started, I think, probably about 10 past or 15 past 8, but hopefully next week I'll be able to start on 8 o'clock. So yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope to see you all next week. I am again back Saturday, 8 p.m. for wins and losses. So come and check that out. Anyway, hope you all have a good night. See you later, and king up. Any tips on how to get, I'm sure you're not supposed to say houchy, get veins popping? Well, funny you actually say that, because one of my friends actually has, what do you call it? There are straps that you wrap around to restrict the blood flow. That helps pop the veins a lot, if you want those. Other thing is diet. If you strip yourself of any sugars, and just focus on having lean meats, lean protein, etc., they're the best to get your veins popping. Anyway, have a good night, and I'll see you all later. King up.